Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Today's a very exciting day. It's the official launch, I guess, of a new project. You saw in the most recent video us getting this, and by us I mean me, going all the way to northern Iowa to go pick up this thing. It is a 1974 Ford Capri race car, road race car, and it's awesome. But it's not perfect because it is
missing a third.
It's missing a bit. So obviously still on the trailer, have not unloaded it yet. We're just getting to the point where we're actually assessing what exactly we have purchased and what kind of trials and tribulations are ahead to bring this thing back to its road racing glory. If you're interested, stay tuned. This is probably going to be a little funny because there's a lot wrong and there's a lot bad, but it will be great. We will make it great again. Stay tuned. All right, so I guess, you know, maybe the most obvious thing is it's missing a bit.
A couple feet.
Yeah.
Just even more interesting is the front's been cut off of this car at least 2 times previously.
And not really like gently cut off.
No, like with a torch.
With a torch.
And then welded back together.
So this car is a 1974 Ford Capri. As far as we can tell, in 1984, it went through a transition from road car to race car. We have all of the documentation of all the original engine build, and this car actually was built in New York and road raced with SCCA, and it has road raced its way all around the country. We've got log books for all kinds of interesting stuff. We've got build sheets for all kinds of stuff. It ended up in Kansas for somebody who piloted it out there for quite a long time, and then it eventually has made its way here to us for us to be able to bring it back to life. Unfortunately, in its last outing, somebody spun out in front of the gentleman who used to own this and took it across this nose. So I guess that person then decided in order to fix it,
move it,
rhinoplasty, cut the nose off, and fix it. Unfortunately, that gentleman passed away, and here we go. That's where we are. So we're gonna walk you through just where this project is, and
it'll be a short walk.
Yeah, here we go.
Gonna need some caster rods. Not too bad. The rapid removal of the nose leaves a little bit to be desired.
As we said,
the front wheel hammered into the toe boards over here. This guy's been wrinkled. Looks like that top rail's been wrinkled.
you can see the cutting and stitching
here.
here.
They cut this out all the way, and they replaced the entire front of this tower, front half. The back of the tower is actually structurally integrated into the roll bar, or into the roll cage. It's got a steel plate right here that's integrated into this tube that goes back to the cage. Wheel hammered into here at one point and was beat out. Door hinges are good. Actually, the doors are in really good shape. They're not all rotted out.
This, we believe, is the gentleman that built this car. As you can see, yes, this is full-on race car. If you didn't see in the previous video when we went and picked this up in Iowa, this actually was previously purchased by the YouTube channel Junkyard Digs, and Kevin's initial plan was buy it and then fix it. And he knew it was a race car, he just didn't know quite how much race car this is. This is full race car. And that's not really his shtick. So he had posted this on Instagram. I saw it like 11:15, 11:30 at night. And, you know, all good decisions are made when you're laying on the couch at 11:15, 11:30 at night. So we bought it and got ourselves into a lot.
The back end of this car has been hit more times than Pamela Anderson. There's so many dents in this thing, it's not even funny. Underneath all the mud. It's amazing. It's been hit here, and it's been hit here, been hit here. It's been hit here. It's been hit here. This poor little car. Good Lord. Even the inner tub's been beaten out. Oh, it was hit way up farther up there. You can see where they used a old screw puller and pulled out the fender up there. That's nice. That's good. Good old school stuff. That's how they used to done it. Oh, this quarter's wrinkled all the way up in there. So the whole back of this thing was hammered. That might be why this thing was turned into a race car. I bet it was in a heavy rear end collision and they just totaled the
That would make sense.
I mean, this thing probably had a street value of like $1,000 when it was new. What were these things, like $2,400 new?
Not disparaging all of you Capri people. This just wasn't a very valuable car.
Here they didn't sell well.
One of the interesting things with this car is the fact that this is basically like a baby Mustang. So Ford brought out the Mustang, and that was our pony car.
Is there another one?
It's extra sets of taillights.
Those are taillights. I need one more of these.
You know you plan on a lot of taking it in the back end.
You know you're going to be taking it back end a lot when you have them by the box full.
Yeah. So anyway,
I got a pallet of taillights.
this was a pony car. Essentially, Mustang was the thing in the United States. We got Mustangs, we got Camaros, we got Firebirds, all of the pony car era stuff. We had all that stuff. Well, Europe didn't get that, and this was Ford Europe's answer to the Mustang. It's basically, think of it like a 2/3 scale Mustang. And it didn't come with a 5-liter in it or it didn't come with a 289, it didn't come with a 427, a 428, a 429. None of those options were available in Europe. So it came with like a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder and all kinds of other things, V4s, inlines, all the way up to the legendary Cosworth motors that were available in this as well. So our European viewers definitely know this car and what it's capable of. American viewers, you're gonna learn. There's a lot of cool racing history here.
Sparkulator.
Some extra.
Hey, we even have engine bearings. Slightly used. Why did they save the used bearings? That's kind of awkward. Oh, vacuum sealed for
Look at that.
better protection.
Brand new NOS, or at least old.
Standards.
Yeah, but for what motor?
Those are rod bearings.
And a set of pistons. Again, for what motor?
That one had a lunch. Ooh. That one had lunch. I wonder if I could put those in one of my jet skis.
Near as we can tell, last time this car was raced, it had a 2-liter 4-cylinder in it. And we do have the entire build diary, essentially, of this car, which is one of the key components of the reasons we bought this car. Is the SCCA people are very meticulous, at least especially at that point in time. Everything was done by hand. So we have logbooks and build sheets of absolutely everything. Every single part number that's gone into this thing, all of the pieces and parts that were in the engine, brakes, suspension, wheels, tires, cables, clutches, all that stuff is all in our build book. So if we wanted to build it back as it was, we could, or we could put our own little personal spin on it and make it cool our style.
No, I'm not getting in that hole.
God, you got to try it.
That's not good for TV.
So I'll give you a shot here from the driver's side. You've got all of the gauges. What's interesting here on this side is these are pressure gauges for the brakes, front and rear. Tack, oil pressure, water, all that fun stuff. And you'll notice that the gauges are oriented twisted. Well, the reason for that is optimal operating temperature or pressure or whatever is straight up and down. It's vertical. So when you're racing, you don't have to look over and read the gauge. All you have to do is see the orientation of that needle, and if everything is straight up and down, you're good to go. Keep racing. So obviously, quick disconnect steering wheel. Steering wheel's around here somewhere. Kirky racing seat. No adjustability. The person that's going to race this car is going to fit this. That's pretty much it. Those are your options. Did come with a bunch of extra wheels and tires. That's a set of wheels that have actually been stretched, so they've been cut, a new band put in the center, and then re-welded to be able to make those wheels wider. Do have a drive shaft back there, and a couple of other little pieces. Our battery box. It does have a full fire suppression system on it, because race car. And it does have a front window defroster, which is a little bit different.
It's lines of horizon. If you know you're inverted or not.
So what are you feeling on the front end here?
I think we're going to cut it off again and then weld a new one in.
Where do you think?
I don't know yet.
You want to cut back even further and start over?
I think a donor car is in order, which I've already found. And it'll go one of two ways. We'll either replace the whole front end off the donor car, or we will just extend the frame rails out with rectangular stock and then build tie bars and then just hang the front end off the front of the car with tabs, and then have it so we can just pull the fenders and the front clip off as a unit to service the engine that we're going to stuff down in this thing. I don't know yet. I got to think about that. Either way, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
It should be fun. It's definitely a unique car.
It is. It is very unique. Non-vented front discs. Rear drum. Pretty cool little car. It is rear leaf. Give you a shot underneath here. Obviously fuel cell there. Diamond racing wheels. We've actually got two sets of these, which are 13. This is currently wearing a 215/50/13. But we've got a couple of different sizes of tires that came with these, plus that other set of wheels that's in there. And we've got all of these that also came with it as well. So there's another diamond set of racing wheels and slicks. That also came with these. All kinds of stuff. It also came with this. Near as we can tell, this is a 1.6 liter Kent cross flow. So it would have been kind of what would have originally come with this car, I would say. So exhaust out one side, intake on the other. Decent little motor, made decent power for what it was back in 1974. but not particularly powerful for what we would do these days. Interestingly, however, these actual motors are pretty solid in the racing community. There's a lot of people that do like Formula Ford and sprints, and a lot of other people that run even boats that are powered off of this block or this setup or something in this family. Not sure if it's going to be the right thing for this build, to be honest with you. That's kind of still really up in the air. And honestly, probably something we're going to reach out to you guys about what do we do to put this thing together? How do we build it? What do we want to put in it? Because there are a couple of options to discuss. Don't adjust your TV sets. Yes, I'm in a different shirt. This is a different day. I'm refilming this section because the other one was completely out of focus. So anyway, option number one. This is a Fox Body Mustang. It was a donor vehicle for a 1965 Mustang that we were going to be building for a customer. Unfortunately, that project oddly fell through. However, we have this. So, we could take the thing out of this and put it in that Capri. That is a 2.3 liter turbo Ford motor. It's a Lima. Essentially what you would find in like a Thunderbird Turbo Coupe or a Ford Mustang SVO or a Mercure XR4 Ti. This is what came in this vehicle when we purchased it, and we have no need for this because this chassis is actually much more useful and valuable without that motor in it, because somebody wants to stick an LS in this thing or a 351 or whatever, probably not this. It's got a full intercooler system that's already on it. It's got a Turbo XS turbo. It's got all the bells and whistles we could possibly want and a Mega Squirt ECU to make it all work. So this, with a few little tiny modifications, would fit in the nose of that Capri, and it would still be Ford powered, and it would be pretty dang quick. So, option number one. Option number two, as I mentioned in the first video, we actually happen to have another donor vehicle sitting here for a different project. This is an IS300 Lexus, powered by a Toyota 2JZ. Now, this is the 2JZ GE, not the turbo version, but this can be made to make quite a bit of horsepower. We actually kind of have some experience with this because we built a 500 horsepower one of these things a couple of years ago, so we kind of know how it works. So it is a long inline six, 3 liters, would make a very nice sound out of that Capri. It is a bit heavy, and it would probably make quite a bit of power, either in NA form or in turbo form, whichever we decide to do. But it would also maybe not necessarily be the right thing for having a Toyota in the front end of a vintage Ford race car. I don't know. Kind of hard to say. Would give us all the modern telemetry. It's all electronic, obviously, so we would be able to control lots of things. Would get good fuel economy. Would sound good. Would be quick. It would probably upset the weight balance of the car a bit. And again, Toyota and a Ford, probably not the right call, but it would be fun. And we could turbocharge it, which would be even more fun. Or option 3, Ford 302. This came out of I believe a 1992 Ford Mustang GT, full serpentine belt system. Have all the bells and whistles for it. It's actually already been dyno tested, and it is healthy. And technically speaking, those Capris were made in South Africa with 302 Fords in them. So it would kind of make sense. We could put it together as a tribute car to that type of Capri, I guess. Again, not sure it would be the right spirit though, because this is going to give it a American rumbly V8 sound, and that may not necessarily be the right thing. It would also probably upset the balance of the car. Those were European cars that were lightweight and tossable and fun to drive in the corners, and with a big honking iron V8, American style up in the front, with a rumbly V8 out of the back, it just may not be the right spirit for the car. I don't know. I know a lot of people think this would be a lot of fun to do, and I agree, it would be a lot of fun, and it would be really quick and probably a handful to drive. I don't know though. Is it the right way to go? I don't know. So we've got one more option also. This is a Bronco 2, also built by Ford. Same vaguely generation as that Capri, and oddly also shares an engine capability of that Capri. This is a 2.8 liter 60-degree V6. Interesting little motor. Never really much of a race car, never really much of a high performance motor. It has some potential, and technically speaking, it's the highest trim level option, highest displacement option for that 1974 Capri. They're reasonably available, but they're not very well supported, and they're odd little birds. Now, that would give it, still Ford, would give it the most displacement of any of them. So the most torque, so it's more fun down low to drive. You don't have to rev it all the way to the moon like you would a little four-cylinder. And it would be very unique. But aftermarket support, not so great. There's not a ton of these that are, there's not a lot of performance parts designed for these things, so might be a little weird. It does weigh a bit more than the inline four-cylinders do, so weight is going to be a little bit worse with this cast iron V6 in the front of it. And it would make an interesting note as far as exhaust-wise go. But it would technically be kind of true to the beast, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know. There's the spiel. There's our walk around our product or our project introduction. What do you think of the 1974 Ford Capri? Should be pretty interesting, we think. We have absolutely no idea how we're going to bring it back to life, what it's going to end up being. Does it come back as a vintage road race car? Do we unrace car some of it and bring it back as a streetable car?
There's the radiator.
That looks great. As Rich was saying, we do actually already have a donor car found for this thing, which I'm probably going after here in the next, I don't know, day or two, to be able to get ourselves a front clip for. So we've got a donor to be able to bring this thing back to life. It's just going to be a lot of work. Hopefully you guys are going to be interested in this. It's something a little bit out of the range of what we normally do. We normally wouldn't take on anything quite this crazy. But it is going to be really cool, and we hope you guys are going to come along for the ride. So there you go. Product or project introduction. This is going to be, I believe, called the Curmudgeon Capri, after the old pilot of this vehicle. So if you guys are interested,
it looks like they might have used the fire suppression system in the accident.
Yes.
Just saying.
I would say. If you guys are interested, please do click on the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed before. We have all kinds of interesting projects that we work on around here. Our projects, customers' projects, daily drivers, all kinds of stuff makes it onto our channel. We are a full functional working shop, so this isn't just a hot rod channel that makes up pretend deadlines and builds a vehicle. This is legit. This is really how it works. So you're going to see all of the pain, the suffering, all of the trials and tribulations, all of it laid out here. This will be a long build series, so if you're interested, please do stick around. As I said, anything.
See the sway bar that was on this thing? Hang on, I gotta move another set of wheels.
As I said, please do drop a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. If you've got any experience with these cars, as far as race cars, if you happen to know the car or know somebody who's owned the car or raced the car, if you've got any kind of footage, photos, whatever of this thing, we're really looking forward to seeing some of that stuff. Please go back and look at the old video that we shot just a little bit ago when I picked up the vehicle up in Iowa from Junkyard Digs, and you can see some of the stuff that we went through and some of the documentation that we have for it. We've got a lot, but we would love to have
like
more.
Them apples.
That is a serious sway bar for a 2,600 pound car.
It's got it's got billet blocks.
Team Blitz.
Crap.
Click on the like button. You already made it this far. Lets YouTube know that you're paying attention. We'll see you after we get this thing off this trailer and get it inside to see exactly how bad this frame is hit. And after I go get a donor car. That'll be the next episode. We'll see you next time. Take care.